My name is Matt Zenom. My company is American Support, and we have a little over 500 employees based out of Chapel Hill, with offices up and down Florida and Phoenix, and about 175 work-at-home employees.
And what's the field of?
We provide customer care, billing, and technical support for cable companies. So video, voice, and data subscribers.
How did you start out?
I had a cable company, and we were doing really well in supporting our big bulk sales and not doing a good job supporting individual subscribers. And I realized that there really wasn't anybody to outsource to who was good at that function. So I talked to a few other cable operators, and they were having similar challenges, and decided let's gang a lot of us up and aggregate that together and provide an enterprise quality solution for the cable industry.
To see a problem, but then be the problem solver.
Absolutely.
Tell me about how that came to you and when you decided that it was going to be to you to do something about it.
I've always been an entrepreneur. This is my fifth startup, and now we're 5 years into this one, so we're a little bit past the startup phases.
Yeah.
When I see something that doesn't seem right, it's kind of my inclination to, okay, how do we fix that, or how do I fix that? And I think that's kind of in the entrepreneur's blood, just to identify when those things are happening. And then from there, it's figuring out the process to go solve that problem. So in our space, for example, one of the things we did is we noticed, okay, not only are there issues with back office support or customer care for our industry, but a lot of our clients had been offshoring, sending work to overseas. And it seemed to me there's a lot of Americans who need and want work. So can we also switch how we're finding those Americans to give them jobs and give them opportunities? So we spent a lot of our time recruiting in rural America, trying to find educated, hardworking people who want to work, and then giving them the technology that enables them to do that. And working in more of the densely populated urban cities, that's harder to do at a price point that the customers can afford.
Why was it important to you to go that more difficult route?
I believe that no matter what business you do, it really doesn't matter. Cable industry, we're not saving lives, we're not making revolutionary change in the actual work itself. What we're doing that's different is we're building a society and that we have control over. So we don't have a lot of control over much in the world, but we can control this little piece of it. So for right now, for our 500 employees, we know that everyone has a living wage, everyone has health care, everyone has a job that's a meritocracy, and I like that, and our employees like that. We can feel good about what we're doing in our little society, and that's what drives me, and I think that's what drives our team.
How did you finance your startups, and what did you learn along the way?
This one specifically, I partnered with just one other person. We put enough in to get the business started. And on this one, I was able to, before we even started the business, to know who our first 2 customers were going to be. And within 3 months, we're cash positive. So that made this an easier business to grow. We recently took on some additional funding to go get an acquisition and really grow the business to the next stage. It was difficult because we were debt-free and profitable, but didn't have enough money to do the acquisition. So it was a choice of, do we really want to go through the answering to process that a mezzanine lender brings to the experience. At the same time, I think we said, we are a process-driven company, we are a numbers-driven company, and having to report that to a board, including some bankers, is not the end of the world. And to have the money to be able to create more jobs and be able to have that scalability that they would give us is pretty attractive. I think also, having gotten almost 5 years into this before raising any money, we didn't have to give up very much of the business to do that. So
How big of a jump was it when you made the acquisition?
More than doubled our company.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a pretty big jump. And not more than doubled our company, it gave us master service agreements with some of the largest cable companies in America, which now allow us to provide our what we've been doing in the work-at-home model with rural America, bring that to them, and complement what the company we bought was doing, more of a telesales program. So it gave us more clients and more scale.
For you, how do you keep true to who you are, what you want to do, what you want to bring, and grow at the same time?
I think that's up and down aligning our team on our core values. I mean, everybody knows that we're trying to create jobs in America and work for a healthy company. Everybody knows that we're trying to be nicer, which is be nice, improve continuously, communicate clearly, do excellent work, get to the root. We align our team on this is our 5-year vision, this is where we're headed, this is our 1-year vision, what we're trying to do this year, and this is our quarter vision. And then I put what are my objectives this quarter, and then every employee in our entire organization puts their objectives for the quarter, and then we publish what's achieved and not achieved up and down the organization so everyone can see it. So I think it's the transparency, the visibility, and none of that changing as we keep scaling. So the same practices we did at 150 people, we're doing at 500 in terms of the visibility and the transparency of what we're doing together. And continuing to find just really good people to lead these small groups and find the next leaders within the organization.
I've never heard a company that has a core value of to be nice.
Yeah, nicer.
How did that make it into the mix, and how does that work on a day-to-day basis?
I think that was the DNA of the original team that we brought together. And again, I think it was all of us saying we just want to do really good work and work for people who are good people. And again, it's we want to control our own society. So we want to do good work. We want to work for good people. Let's keep hiring people who embody that. So when we tell people in the interview process, our values are nicer. Let's talk about what those are in our small team meetings. Are you embodying these values? We even go so far as every employee has points each week that they can acknowledge another employee for living these core values to just keep it front of mind. This is what we do, this is how we treat each other, this is how we treat our clients, and this is how we treat our clients' subscribers or our clients' customers. I think it makes a difference. I think it makes a difference on who we can recruit to come work for us and our retention rate of keeping people.
If you could talk to anybody about your business, who would it be and what would you tell them?
I like telling big business to not overlook rural America. There are a ton of good people, of hardworking people who need and want to work. And the price point in rural America is more affordable. You can offer a living wage and get really good people. You just need to find the technologies to go find them. So think differently about how you're recruiting, think differently about how you're approaching your need for talent, and think differently about how you're running your business. I think there's a huge opportunity to reinvent this country using the talent that is here.
When you look at your business, I mean, you're here in a kind of a celebratory situation and looking about what you've done, about what you've built. So when you look at your company, do you think about what's there, or do you think more about what's missing?
It's definitely both. I think as a company, we are a learning company. So we're always looking for what is the best idea and how do we do this better? What is the best practice? Or how do we automate this piece so we can spend our physical hours doing something different. So it's a little bit of both. I think we recognize we have a responsibility for a lot of lives. We're trying to create a bigger society, create more jobs, and how do we do that? So it's, yay, we're doing these things well. Ooh, we need to work on these things. And what's heading down on the roadmap? How do we continually improve and keep growing this business?
Is there a story that you keep with you? Because I kind of envision, when you keep talking about rural America and sort of reviving that as well as the bigger economy and not leaving these little pockets behind, but is there something that you sort of keep in mind that keeps you going? Or
Yeah, I mean, as much as I believe in the American dream, I have this weird feeling that part of this, there's a myth about the self-made man that people misunderstand. It just doesn't happen. There are people who work hard and do a good job, but we're all a product of society. And to understand that, we need to look across our society as a whole and recognize, how did we get here? How did we get to where we are? And how do we help society, or this great country we live in, how do we do this? How can we make this a better space? And it's so easy to get focused on our little densely populated parts of the world and forget that there's all these people who make this possible. So I would hope that our business leaders and our politicians keep pushing out towards rural America and keep thinking about the people that have in some ways been forgotten in the big cities.